Hey everyone, it's been a while since I did one of these, and it's about time I went through the list of questions that's been building up lately. I'd like to thank everyone who sent in their questions. Some questions that I will not go over in this Q&A videos are questions which asked if I wanted to make a list of best and worst games, characters or whatever. These would just take too long to go over, and instead I will save them up and make separate videos on those to share my opinions. Anyway, let's get rolling. From Potet321, what's your favorite game and console in the last 10 years? That would be the PS2. I played that the most out of all, and I think it has a lot of great games on it. I might have said the Dreamcast if I ever got around to getting it in its short-lived life. I do think in retrospective that it was an awesome console too, but I am most familiar with the PS2 and had a lot of fun with that one, so I'm going with that. As for a game, I'm just going to name what comes to mind first, which is Shadow of the Colossus. That's just an amazing game overall. From QD53, have you ever thought about making a CDI DVD? Well, seeing so many people releasing DVDs lately, it's hard to not let such a thought slip in. So yeah, I have thought about it briefly, if I would ever want to work towards such a thing, and quickly decided that I do not want to. I want to deliver my content for free, and I do not want to give out extras that need to be bought. If I want to give something extra, I'll give it right here. Besides that, I don't think the quality is nearly good enough to warrant a DVD purchase from anyone, and it would mean a lot of work to actually offer a DVD, and I'm a lazy bastard. So don't expect a DVD from me anytime soon. Mr. Amonkey7 or a monkey? I don't know. Is the CDI better than the 3DO? Only in one particular field does the CDI outdo the 3DO as far as I know, and that is in full motion video quality. It will need a digital video cartridge for this, but with it the 3DO looks rather crappy when you compare FMV games between the two systems. See my Space Ace review for an example of that. In all other fields the 3DO kicks CDI's butt when it comes to games. It's far more powerful and has far more interesting and playable games. I guess the CDI is also better if you're into edutainment and video CDs, but those are things that aren't really related to gaming. EdgeFox88. I was wondering where it was you learned to speak English. Well, it's actually rather common over here to speak English. Our form of high school demands that you learn at least Dutch and one strange language. So I learned English for about 4 years during high school, and that's as far as my schooling in the subject goes. However, I had picked up a lot before that time already from TV. One of the big advantages of having crappy eyes is that you can't read the subtitles and are forced to figure out the understanding of words in different languages yourself. Apart from that, I now learn from errors that I make and that you guys correct me on, and I do like to thank you for that, since I do really appreciate it, as it helps me improve a lot. ScrewAttackEurope, or Guru Larry as most of us know him as. When the zombie apocalypse happens, what is your course of action? Alright, here's what I'll do. I'd gather some people with different skills, get ourselves a helicopter, fly to Switzerland and start living in one of those hotels only accessible by Telfer carrier. Destroy the carrier and have fun watching the zombies falling down the mountain continuously as they foolishly try to climb up. We can even use the heli for shopping and such. And are you a shotgun or a chainsaw kinda guy? I'm all for the boomstick. It makes faces look oh so nice, plus on average it'll give off less bloodstains on me. You know how hard it is to get rid of those? No one's going to be making any more washing powder, so you better take care of your clothing, you know. Unless you want of course to knit new ones yourself, but who is going to do that during a zombie apocalypse? TMBG fan 1982. I obviously recognize the last name, but who is Theo Barneveld? It's my father. He is a bit of an artist, or was at least. He did the drawings in the earlier videos, and it was pretty funny to see what he came up with, since he rarely knows anything about the games and just went by what the cover and the name inspired him to do. We stopped it though, since it was taking a bit too much of his time. Maybe I should show some of his earlier stuff sometime, since it's quite cool. He's also fairly good at imitating Ash's works. What do you think of Mega Man 7 on the SNES? To be honest, I haven't played that installment all too much, so I can't really tell and know very little about it. The Mega Man games I'm most familiar with are just the first 4, and I did really enjoy those, even though they kicked my ass most of the time. Smart Lamppost. What are a few games that you absolutely love but are very obscure? Well, I'm not sure if these are really that obscure, but whatever. First, keeping it close to the CDI, I think that a lot of people really missed out on some good fun with The Apprentice. I love that game, it's really fun, lighthearted, but still boasts a nice challenge. As for other games, I always really enjoyed Kickle Cubicle on the NES, but I rarely hear anyone else talk about that one, and it's fairly cheap too. Finally, I think that The Adventures of Alundra for the PS1 is criminally overlooked. I absolutely adore that game and I think it blows Zelda away in some ways. Just such an amazing game and yet so cheap. You can usually find this gem well under 20 bucks, and if you haven't got it yet, then I do strongly suggest you go out and get it. But do stay away from its sequel since Alundra 2 just sucks. A few videos back you said you might buy a PS3. Out of curiosity, did you ever? Yeah, I did get me one around my birthday, and so far I've been really enjoying it. I really like Infamous and Wipeout HD Fury, the two games I've been playing the most. I wish I had some more time to play with it and actually complete some games too, but oh well, what are you gonna do? I'm enjoying it more than the 360 in general actually, and I think this has to do with the controller for me. I'm just much more used to it and it feels kinda like a homecoming for me, strange as may be. As for the games, it mostly doesn't matter I think, although I do believe the PS3 exclusives, as little as there are, do have more originality in them. What's your favorite cereal? None. I don't like cereal and I rarely use milk for anything. If you could kill any character in any game as dead as a freaking doorknob, who would it be? Probably Waluigi. The world just needs to be without him. He's such a pointless character. He has no personality and was just an ill idea by Nintendo. Just stupid. No one will miss him. I mean, come on. Do you actually know anyone who ever picks him as a character in any of the games he is in? No! Because he is a pointless nobody. Do you ever use different controllers in your CDI reviews? You know, other than the touchpad. No, not really. I've not reviewed a game that is better suited with another controller, except maybe for Escape from Cyber City, which is actually best played with a CDI mouse, which I don't have. So I mostly use the gamepad that kinda looks like a Mega Drive controller. What obscure gaming consoles do you own? What are your opinions on each of them? I kind of went over what I have in my previous Q&A video and I still don't have a clear overview of my whole collection, to be honest. If it's obscure though, I'll likely make a video of it at some point and share my opinions on it in depth. What do you think of the 3DO, cost aside? Would you suggest it or does it have little to offer? I think it's also a really fun console and it interests me quite a bit. I'm not as familiar with it as the CDI though. Unfortunately 3DO stuff is a bit rare around here, so I only have a very limited collection so far. But I think if you have a choice between CDI or 3DO to collect for, you'll definitely want to go for 3DO. The average quality of the games is just way better. I'd really like to get more into 3DO too. I think it's pushed aside way too easily by most gamers. Do you own any of the portable CDI consoles, or at least know anything about them? How about the TV with the built-in CDI? I do know the models, but never owned any of them. I've never actually seen the TV unit out in the wild though. The portable models usually fetch a hefty price, so I'm not too willing to hunt one down, to be honest. If one does cross my path at some point, I might consider picking it up. There are just so many different CDI models that it's a very expensive endeavor to go after each. One advantage some of the portable units have is that the timekeeper battery can be replaced, since once that baby goes down it can cause a lot of problem in CDIs. Eden of the End. Will you be reviewing or LPing Hotel Mario? I've never seen anyone finish this game, they claim it's too hard. I'd love to see you have a go. I will eventually do a review on Hotel Mario, however, it'll be a while before I do. I want to make sure it's going to be a good and fun video for that one. If I'll do an LP of it, well maybe, but that would be after the review for sure. Well guys, that's all I had for this time. I hope I got everyone's questions in, since it's been a bit messy with keeping track lately for me, as you all know. So if I forgot something, please ask again and I'll go over it in the next one. If you have new questions, you are of course free to ask those too. Thank you all for watching, I'll be back soon with new videos. Until then guys, take care.